All right, we're going to finish up lesson 9 in module 4 here, applications of linear equations with a couple more examples. So let's start here. The width of a rectangle is 7 less than twice the length. And then it talks about the perimeter. So we have to identify our x to be something. Okay, the width is 7 less than twice the length. So I'm going to say let x be the length. And if I do that, and spell length correctly, I can say the width of a rectangle is 7 less than twice x. So, and now sometimes, guys, I'm not going to lie, it's helpful to draw a picture. Okay, so the rectangle. So the width is 7 less than twice the length. Okay, so we said let the length be x. So that's x, that's x. The width then is 7 less than twice x. Twice means 2 times, not to the second power, 2 times x. So I'm going to say 2 times x, that's 2 times length, and then less than is subtraction, but remember it's a turnaround word. We don't say 7 minus, we say 2x minus 7. Okay, so identifying our variable, drawing a picture is really helpful. Now when we talk about perimeter, we're talking about the distance around the outside. So if I add all of these up, it has to equal 43.6. So I'm just going to add them up. 2x, instead of saying minus 7, I'm going to say plus a negative 7, plus my x, plus 2x minus 7, or plus a negative 7, plus my x, has to equal 43.6. All right, so now we simplify and solve. If I have 2x's and 1x, that's 3x's, plus another 2x's is 5x's, plus another 1x is 6x's. So I have 6x plus negative 7 plus negative 7, which is a negative 14. And that has to equal 43.6. Okay, hopefully this is starting to get a little easier because we keep doing the same things over and over. Solving for x term, speaking of doing things over and over, we got to get rid of this negative 14. What can I combine with a negative 14 to make it go away? A positive 14. Whatever I do to one side, do to the other. 6x, that adds to 0, equals, let's see, 57.6. And then I divide both sides by 6. 9.6. So we get our x is equal to 9 6/10, or 9.6. Did we answer the question being asked? What is the area? Well, no, we didn't. X in that area is not 9.6. So remember, area of a rectangle equals its length times its width. So I just need to multiply its length and width together. I know its length here is 9.6. Its width is going to be 2 times 9.6 minus 7. 12.2. So this part isn't hard to do. We just need to make sure we have the numbers. Our length is 9.6 times our width, 12.2. $117.12, or 117 and 12/100. And this was all in inches. And area is always measured in square inches. Okay, so it's a multi-step problem, but we're using our knowledge of solving equations to get here. As always, though, that little hint, make sure you're answering the question being asked. All right, one more. This should look familiar. We did this the other day. Okay. In the diagram below, A, B, C is similar to A, B, A prime, B prime, C prime. I'm sorry, this is ABC to A prime, B prime, C prime. Again, similar means they're getting smaller or getting bigger at the same rate, at the same constant, same scale factor. So let's set up our proportions. proportion to be able to solve it. Okay, so I kind of go with how it looks, but remember, as long as they're lined up vertically and horizontally, meaning corresponding sides and same figure, it shouldn't really matter. I just do it what's easier for me. I come over here and I say, you know what, 18 over 38, 18 here, A prime C prime corresponds to 10.3 minus x. Sorry, it's a little sloppy there. And 38 here corresponds to BC here, 5x minus 0.3. Okay, again, not the only way you could write it, but remember, this is same figure, corresponding, corresponding. Now, to solve, go back to like our cross products. So I'm going to go 18 times this. Now remember, if you missed this before, this 5x minus 0.3 has to be in parentheses. And that has to equal 38 times, so in parentheses, 10.3 minus x. Okay, now distributive property. 18 times 5x. 18 times 5 is 90x. I'm going to go minus sign, 18 times 0.3 works out to be 5.4. I'm just using that numbers. I got a little cheat sheet here, guys. Those all came off of a calculator. So over here, if I go 38 times 10.3, I get 391.4 minus 38 times x is 38x. All right, so now here's my equal sign. Okay, so they're simplified on each side. Let's gather all our x terms up on one side. So I am going to choose I'm going to add 38 x's onto both sides. Okay, we're not dividing x's or anything yet. We got to get them all together before we work on that. So if I have 90 x's, excuse me, plus 38 x's, that's 120, I'm sorry, yeah, 38 x's, x. Bring down my minus 54 equals 391.4, and that cancels out. Did not leave myself enough room, but that's okay. So if you had room, you could keep going. All right, now this is a two-step equation. I'm solving for my x term, get rid of whatever's being added to, subtracted to, or from. So I'm going to get rid of the 54 by adding it. These are opposites. And whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. I bring down my 128x. These cancel out to 0. Equals, and if I add these two together, I'm so sorry, this is not 54. This is 5.4. Ooh, good catch. Hopefully you guys caught that before I did. If I add 391.4 to 5.4, I get 396.8. Then I divide both sides by 128. And we get x equals, typing that into a calculator, 3.1. Okay, so again, like a lot of decimal numbers and everything, bigger numbers, but it's still the same process. Use your cross products, distributive property, solving a two-step or solving an equation with x's on both sides. Last step, did I answer the question being asked? Determine the length of AC and BC. No. So right here, the distance of the length of AC is going to be 10.3 minus whatever x is. Well, x is 3.1. So that works out to be 7.2 millimeters. And 5 times whatever x is, 3.1 minus 0.3. And you can just type that into a calculator. And we get 15.2. millimeters. Okay, so that answers the question being asked. So with all of this, guys, I hope you can see that we really have just been adding another step to the top, but it always comes down to simplify each side, gather all your x terms up on one side, and then it's just a two-step equation that hopefully is becoming easier for you to solve.